Vancouver likes to brand itself as a world-class city, mountains in the background, glass towers in the foreground, and a nightlife that should be thriving somewhere in between. But across the 2025-2026 calendar years, a different story has been playing out for live music and club culture. Fewer rooms, more friction, higher costs, and a night-out experience that's increasingly shaped by safety concerns and real estate gravity rather than pure creative momentum. One visible signal is the steady drip of venue shutdowns and instability, especially in the smaller scene-defining spaces that incubate local DJs, bands, and promoters before they ever reach the festival poster tier. In early 2025, Vancouver watchers were already tracking a wave of late-night spaces closing or announcing they couldn't continue, with Paradise and Letterbox frequently cited as examples of how fragile the ecosystem has become. Social platforms amplified the narrative in real time. Resident Advisor posted about Paradise's closure and framed it as fallout from an extended dispute with the city. Exactly the kind of policy versus culture tension that doesn't just end a lease, but chills new experiments before they begin. Then there's the club culture layer, the places that aren't trying to be Broadway, but aren't content being background noise either. When Bar None, a long-running Yaletown nightclub, held its final party in late September 2025, coverage leaned heavily on the idea that Vancouver was losing another piece of nightlife history. One closure won't kill a scene, but repeated closures do something subtler and worse. They shrink the network of rooms where artists can take risks, where promoters can build community, and where regulars can feel like they actually belong to a city rather than just renting space in it. Underneath the closures, the economics are brutal. A major Canadian live music industry assessment released in 2025 argued that live music generates huge economic value nationally, billions in GDP impact, jobs, and tax revenue, while also stressing the mounting pressures on venues and affordability for fans. Vancouver is a particularly sharp case because the same forces that make the city desirable, high land values, expensive commercial leases, constant redevelopment, also make it harder for small and mid-sized venues to survive long enough to become institutions. And Vancouver's live music struggle isn't only about money, it's also about space and sound. Who gets to be loud, where, and for how long? Scholarship on urban sound and livability points out that public debates about noise often become proxy battles over whose presence is legitimate in a city and whose isn't. In Vancouver, noise conflicts are not just a decibel issue, they're a governance issue. When cities densify, long-running music spaces can end up bordered by newer residential development, and the path of least resistance becomes reduce the music, not design the city to hold culture. That lands directly on Granville Street, the symbolic spine of Vancouver's club identity, and increasingly the headline problem. In 2025, bar owners in the entertainment district publicly warned that conditions had become so difficult they'd never seen it this bad. pointing to disorder and public safety pressures, especially with global attention ramping up toward FIFA 2026. At the same time, the city advanced a long-term revitalization plan for Granville, explicitly trying to steer the district toward a safer, more welcoming, and more vibrant future, language that quietly admits the present reality is not where it needs to be. The tension is that long-term plans don't pay next month's rent, and revitalization can sometimes read like rebranding if the underlying ecosystem, affordable cultural space, stable licensing, and real operational support keeps eroding. It's not as if government is ignoring music entirely. Vancouver's music strategy and related funds are designed to reduce barriers and support underrepresented artists, and provincial partners via Creative BC also run live music funding streams. But the lived experience for many promoters and small venues in 2025-2026 is that grants and strategies can feel like umbrellas in a hurricane, appreciated but not structural. When a venue is closing because of lease terms, compliance costs, or a long-running conflict with permitting and complaints, support has to be fast, practical, and venue-shaped, not just artist-shaped. Social media has become the unofficial archive of what's being lost. Instagram Reels and local posts don't just announce closures, they narrate a mood. Vancouver nightlife is disappearing, and frame the problem as civic, not just personal. That matters because scenes survive on belief. If artists and crowds start assuming venues are temporary, they treat them as disposable. Attendance becomes more sporadic. Risk-taking drops, and the city gets what it inadvertently incentivizes: cleaner, safer, more predictable nights, at the cost of the messy cultural magic that makes people fall in love with a place. So the decline in 2025-2026 isn't one single collapse. It's a slow tightening. Fewer rooms, higher costs, louder conflict over noise, heavier safety anxieties, and a planning timeline that moves in decades while nightlife operates in weekends. Vancouver can still rebuild momentum, but only if it treats live music and clubs as core cultural infrastructure, not optional entertainment that can be optimized out of the city.